through your freedom.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President.
Have we heard much about the deep state lately? I just thought I would ask that question. The deep state. We used to hear that term quite a bit more. I haven't heard it in several weeks. Now we seem to have some deep state issues surfacing in Washington, D.C. Certain members of, well, the media, the bureaucracy, the elected representatives, and even within the Trump administration. That's right. Some guy, and he was the Wong guy to put in there. His name is Wong. And apparently he is the one who programmed in the addresses or names into the Signal app that was used to send that conversation out of the president's circle and into the hands of the press. Oh, it's just, they're sick bastards. Fortunately, no law was broke. Fortunately, no people were at risk. No violations happened. Nothing was destroyed, right? No bad came from it other than, well, they exposed themselves again. The deep state did. This is the shit they do. Mr. Wong should be prosecuted for intentionally putting, shall we say, national security at risk. National security was not at risk, but potentially was because of what he did. And then, of course, the asswipe at the Atlantic, who's good buddies with Jizzy Maxwell, by the way, the owner is. You know, they run to the press, they run to the other press, then they run to the politicians and try making hay out of it. We have had more congressional hearings now on the Signal app episode than we have had on Jeffrey Epstein and his island and the blue or black book, whatever, the address book. Am I wrong? We've had more hearings, more press coverage, more screaming and yelling, calling for people to be fired than we have heard about Jeffrey Epstein's island of pedophilia. Oh, the Democrats are going nuts over this, and they've got nothing. They literally have nothing. I'm enjoying the shit out of that because they've got nothing. All right. Getting comfy here. Welcome to the show, folks. It is the Prepared Mind channel, and it is Hump Day, Wednesday. Get your questions down below, your concepts, your thoughts, everything down below. Let's have some fun with this. We're going to do my monologue followed by your questions in the second half of the hour. We've got X here, Subscribe Star, and preparedmind.club. Now, we talked about this a little, and I think Uman is the one who was the first one to go, I bet that was a tranny. Well, it turns out the, shall we say, wacko, psychotic, dangerous, unhinged left-wing lunatic who physically assaulted the Turning Point USA chapter president, that's TP USA, this fruitcake who assaulted the chapter president with a metallic bike lock, well, has been arrested. I'm surprised Kash Patel didn't run out and take credit for that. I'm surprised Pam Bondi didn't step up and say, oh, yeah, look what we did. Right? A local policeman could have done it. But this is a national story because the person who did that is a violent trans criminal and apparently faces multiple felony charges now. My question for you, are you surprised? Another transgender, trans-testicle, self-hating, America-hating, psychotic foreign loser, right, has revealed exactly what the Democrats want, like, believe, and will work for. Have you also noticed that they're willing to commit whatever act is necessary whether or not they get in trouble, get arrested, go to jail, all these people keying Teslas, some giant fat fuck got on a go-kart and rammed into a Tesla. He has been arrested and charged with felony property destruction. I'm starting to enjoy this, folks. I'm starting to really enjoy it because they're revealing exactly who they are. Because I want you fully prepared. I want you prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, self-defense in your plan. Most people think that it's not going to happen to them until it happens to them. If you're not ready for what these people are willing to do, right, you are not properly preparing and being aware. So, what do you think? Another fruitcake? Another radical leftist out there? Attacking humans, attacking property? And speaking of attacking, ghetto ho, Democrat Jasmine Crockett. Big fake eyelash, big stupid mouth. She is playing the victim card. Yesterday, she assaulted a reporter, physically assaulted him on camera. Charges are being pressed. Today, the bitch shows up in Congress with police protection. Police protection. Playing the victim, acting like, well, she's in trouble and it's very risky being a congressman. I wonder how Nancy Mace would describe what happened, since she was the one who was actually physically assaulted not so long ago in Congress. Jasmine Crockett is the criminal assaulter. She should be, they should just skip the censure all the way, skip taking her off the committees, and just kick her ass out, expel her. George Santos did nothing compared to her, but the Republicans were more than pleased to quickly expedite the expulsion process. Why is it they won't do a fucking thing about anything else? Why is it the Republicans will not get fast and quickly deal with these judges by defunding the judicial branch, taking away their authority over these matters? And I also don't understand why they have the authority at all over these matters if it's not constitutional. It's unfucking believable, folks. But believe it, it is real. We're in a political war. It is going to become a violent war. It is not, I wouldn't call a textbook civil war, but it's going to be partisan and it's going to be politicized. It's going to be partisan. It's going to be politicized. Everything now is politicized, folks. And I want to tell you guys about this, right? 1/3, that's 1 out of every 3 Washington, D.C. District of Columbia, those district judges, 1 in 3 were not even born in this country. 1 in 3 judges has 0 prior judicial experience when they were appointed. They're not elected, they're appointed. And let me ask you this one question. Doesn't the Senate approve all judicial nominees for the federal bench? The president nominates them, and then they go up there and they sit in front of the Senate, and the Senate asks them some questions, and there you go. Go get your lifetime appointment job. 1/3 of them not even from this fucking country. 1/3 of them not even judges. How the fuck does that happen? But look at how much they attacked Matt Gaetz. They wanted Pam Bondi in there. They needed a weak, self-absorbed, egotistical little ninny. I have 0 respect for her. 0. You earn respect. You don't demand it. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. When I looked into him, I went, okay, look at this guy. Here's his track record. Pam Bondi, the only thing she had was Attorney General for Florida, and Florida's pretty fucking awesome. So I thought, she's probably a good person. That was all she had. And then I found out she likes red flag laws, and she loves running to Fox News. to show off her latest, I don't know, fucking dress that she bought. That's why she passed, folks. Oh, she's sharp. She's smart. She's got a smart mouth. If you remember, I remember Pam Bondi from her confirmation hearings. She went after Mazie Hirano and Dick Durbin and whoever the fuck else tried giving her shit. She was nasty. She was nasty. Yet, where is she now? She hides and comes out and talks tough a little bit on the news. I think she's trying to get a fucking job at Fox News. Anyways, let's move on if we shall. Shit has hit the fan. And now the Supreme Court, the SCOTUS Supreme Court of the United States, has caved to a rule that was made under the Biden administration. The rule, did you hear the word constitutional anything? No. I didn't even hear the word law or statute. It's a rule. This rule mandates serial numbers and background checks for ghost guns. A ghost gun is a gun made by a human being for himself. It is their own property. It does not cross state lines for in the shall we say this, in the process of engaging in commerce. So there is no long arm statute here. There's no statutory long arm, meaning across the state lines, has to do with commerce, interstate commerce clause. Federal government has no authority. Well, Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Samuel Alito dissented with the Supreme Court and agreed with me that this rule is unconstitutional, but the Supreme Court has stood up and said, oh yeah, we can mandate serial numbers. Well, who's going to put the serial numbers on the ghost gun since nobody knows about it? Right? What part of shall not be infringed does the Supreme Court not understand? What part of the 10th Amendment does the Supreme Court not understand? Let's go with this. Let's start with this. Shall not be infringed. They're infringing on the right of the people to keep arms, keep and bear arms, to keep them. They're infringing, saying if you don't do what we say, we will take it and you're a criminal. How about the 10th Amendment? All rights not expressly granted to the government, the federal government, are reserved to the states and to the people. You and I have rights. The Supreme Court has infringed and violated them now. We're not asking you to give us special privileges like the privilege to kill babies or enter the country illegally and rape people. That's what the Democrats want. That's what their judges are giving them. We got a fucking mess on our hands, folks. We got a big, big, big mess. Now, more Supreme Court. In Michigan, the legislators there, the Assembly, the Senate, they petitioned the United States Supreme Court for enforcement of the Constitution's elections clause, meaning states are responsible for elections, and they're tired of cheating and tired of rules being bent. Anyways, I think this is cool. Great. Get the Supreme Court to recognize the Constitution and its rules. But the court doesn't have to take the case. Well, why? Why does the Supreme Court get to decide whether or not it wants to hear a case? But the Supreme Court and all the courts want to make a ruling and mandate, force you, me, all of us, the President of the United States, to obey every single demand and edict. But they sit back and go, oh, I don't want to hear that case, and I don't want to hear that case, and that's not important to us, and I don't give a shit. The president says, you know what? I don't like your fucking ruling. You're out of line. I don't give a shit. The judge responds with, well, I'll have you arrested. Oh, we're in some fucking trouble in this country. Some big, big trouble is coming. Hide and watch, right? Hide and watch. It is coming. Let's do this. Let's have some fun with this. Representative Marge Taylor Greene, who I think has re-earned some respect, and I'll call her Big Marge. Today, the CEO, right, or CEOs of NPR and PBS, that's the National Public Radio, and PBS, the Public Broadcasting System, she bitch slapped them down over their un-American and biased or politically biased statements. You know what the one bitch called President Trump? Right? She's in NPR, and she calls Trump a, quote, deranged, racist sociopath. And they promote censorship. Why are we, you and I, the American taxpayer, funding government radio and television when there are hundreds of channels? Fuck, there are dozens of news channels. We don't need an NPR. We don't need a PBS. We don't need Sesame Street. There's plenty of shitty cartoons and shows out there with people wearing stupid costumes. Why are we funding that? Why are we giving censorship and these disgusting, filthy trannies and drag queens a stage? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, in case you didn't catch that one, you know, they love to have drag queens all dressed up like flaming, freaking perverts that they are and talk to children aged 2 to 10. They think that's great. Folks, understand. This lady shows up in Congress. She gets put in her place. I'm really sorry. We just want money. That's it. They will never respect anyone, especially someone who knows they're full of shit and lets them get away with it and then gives them money again. They'll never respect. They won't appreciate. They won't like anybody in Congress, and they'll certainly never like you and me. So believe that. These left-wingers out here, folks, these Democrats, socialists, communists, whatever they want to call themselves, Antifa, BLM, they will never like you or me. They'll never respect the law. They'll never appreciate America. So act accordingly. We must politically destroy all of our enemies. There is no coexistence. Those stickers that show coexist on them, have you seen those? They've been around for fucking decades. I don't know if they've, I think they've updated them and put some tranny shit and some gay crap in there. Everything inside that coexist does not coexist. It does not. Judaism, Talmudic Judaism does not like Islam and does not like Christianity and does not like Gentiles. And Muslims, all the jihad Joes, do not like Israel. And Jews, they do not like Christians. They do not like free people. They don't like white people, period. The fruitcakes don't like straight people. Right? That whole coexist, it doesn't work. I think we've done enough, haven't we, to prove that? I really think we've done enough, right? Good golly. They hate you. Why are you allowing them that? Right? That lunatic, Maxine Waters, Mad Maxine, Democrat representative, she is now talking about deporting Melania Trump. She's demanding an investigation into Melania Trump's immigration status. Quite interesting. I believe Trump has married Melania. Yeah. I thought that was what Ilhan Omar used to get her brother into the country when she married her brother. No one is saying kick him out because he's married to someone. They're saying kick him out because it's fraud, and kick her dumb ass out too. That's fucking immigration fraud. But she wants to know the immigration status of Melania Trump. married to the fucking president. I think Mad Maxine needs some jail time. She is a lunatic. And she also calls for a violence on a regular basis. In an effort to try and sound like an American, the Speaker of the House, Maggot Mike Johnson, he has issued a warning. He's starting to sound like Pam Bondi. He's starting to sound like Kash Patel. Here's a very stern warning. Speaker Johnson has issued a warning. And he's let, the federal courts know that Congress has the authority to both defund and disband them. Okay, warning time is over. You've got 24 hours to vacate all of your fucking bullshit rulings. And if you don't, you're disbanded, you're defunded. All of you. Folks, please write Congressman Johnson. Right? Congressman Johnson, Speaker of the House. Write him and tell him no more warnings. Do it. And folks, you and I have to demand of Mike Johnson. Do it. They're not taking any action. All they want to do is give warnings. That's it. Warnings. I'm going to warn you this and I'm going to warn you that. They don't really care. There is a two-tier system in this country. And if you didn't know about it before, you certainly have seen evidence of it now. Mad Maxine can promote violence. No problem. Right? No problem there. Adam Shifty Shit His Pants Schiff. He can lie to the American people, get the president impeached on his lies and bullshit from the Russia hoax. And he gets censored but not removed from Congress. Let's see. AOC lies left and right really badly. Like her pretending to cry at the fence. By the way, I think she's porking out. There's something going on there. But let's go to Jasmine Crockett. Calls for physical violence against the president, Elon Musk, and Senator Ted Cruz. Violently attacks a reporter. Put her hands on him. That's violence. That's assault. And how about this? In small town America, a Democrat leader ran into a child with the car. The car has dents and scratches, which are evidence that the accident happened. The kid was hit by a fucking car with a Democrat, and guess what? She decided, I'm going to hit and run, and she took off. No charges filed, no arrest, and the town is pissed off. It is a two-tier system. It's a two-tier system. Even at the lowest levels, Democrats want to get away with everything they can. Well, I'm not going to be held responsible. Well, don't you know who I am? Maybe I had to try that from now on. Don't you know who I am? I'm a Democrat. Oh, crazy. Well, Wayne Root. Wayne Root, who is a nationally recognized writer, speaker, has written an article, and he says, Mr. President, here is how to stop radical, communist, treasonous, deep state resistance judges. Stop them dead in their tracks. Well, I'm going to save you from reading the article. I'll tell them, here's the 2 steps. First, declare a national emergency. We're being invaded. Second, name it the Great Border War. So we have a cool marketing name for it. And then tell judges just to fuck off. It's a national emergency. And we've seen this time and again where the president or a governor can declare a state of emergency. Fuck, they were declaring states of emergency before storms even got to their states. Right? They'll declare a state of emergency in order to give themselves additional executive authority. Well, hell, we know we're being invaded. We know who the invaders are and what they believe. They're radical jihad Joes. They're gang members. They're drug dealers. They're human traffickers. They're rapists. They're murderers. Yeah, that sounds like a national emergency to me. If you're not an American, be prepared to be kicked right out of the country on your ass. I don't think that's asking too much, do you? Oh, good golly. Anyways, folks, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. We got a lot to talk about, and I want it to be your turn. You guys, I know, have got plenty to talk about. Yes, indeed. Now, what do we got? Oh, shoot, I got a couple minutes left, right? Got a couple minutes left. There was one thing here I wanted to talk about. Kash Patel is back in front of Congress. Why is it they talk so tough in front of Congress? Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and they don't do anything out once it's time to, well, slap the cuffs on people. Right? Pete Hegseth went right out there and said, no more fruitcakes in the military. Right? We're going to invite in Doge to audit everything, and we're going to pass the fucking audit at the Pentagon. We're going to find out where the money's being stolen. He's doing things. Right? That's why he's being attacked, by the way. So vociferously. Pam Bondi hasn't arrested anybody. No perp walks. Kash Patel has not arrested any big name bankers, politicians, bureaucrats, royalty, entertainment. No one has been arrested over the Epstein files. Nobody. And guess who else isn't criticizing them? Do you hear anyone in Congress, any Democrats criticizing Pam Bondi? No. Think about it right here. Why aren't the Democrats attacking Pam Bondi? Now, when they hold their hearings and they bring them in, they'll play that cat and mouse bullshit. But while Pam is out there doing what she does, and while Kash Patel is out there doing what he does, why aren't Democrats attacking them? They're attacking Pete Hegseth, even Pete Booty Juice, the man who had billions of dollars and managed to put in just a couple of charging stations. Who the fuck is he? Oh, wait, that's right. He's a man who chest feeds the baby that he and his gay husband adopted. That is fucking sick. Just sick. That worthless piece of shit. Anyways, yeah, they're going to attack someone that's actually doing something. So I guess the point is, maybe because Pam Bondi isn't arresting anybody, they're going to leave her alone. Because Kash Patel isn't arresting any Democrats. Like, I don't know. Who could he possibly arrest? Bill Clinton? Barack Obama? Hillary Clinton? Michelle Obama? There's some pizza party, hot dog fun right there. Well, what about, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi, anyone? Chuck Schumer? Alejandro Mayorkas? Susan Rice? Eric Holder? All of these left-wing scumbags, right? They're being very quiet. They're not touching Pam Bondi. Why not? Because she's not doing anything to scare them, to upset them, to piss them off. That's exactly why we want her in that office, is to do those things, to arrest people, scare the shit out of them all, make them go to jail, make them pay justice. Keep watching. When you start seeing politicians attacking Pam Bondi, then you know she's doing something good. Otherwise, they don't give a fuck. Nope, not a bit. They don't give a fuck. She can do whatever she wants as long as she's not arresting them and their banking and corporate and financial friends. It's now your turn. Questions down below, and we're going to get into it. Okily dokily. I think we got some good stuff coming up on the show. Let's see what you want to discuss, Mr. Uman. He says, hey, a non-government organization. Funny how there's fucking thousands of those things, all being funded by you and I. The International Personal Development Association is calling for millions to come out to protest President Trump and Elon Musk on April 5th. Be aware of what's planned in your areas. There are other groups planning protests for this weekend on 3/29 as well. So I think this group, they're attached and associated with just the worst kind of people, folks. They're here to steal your money. They're here to take your kids. They're here to steal our country. They're here to destroy everything. Yeah, they want to protest Trump. Now, let me ask you this seriously. Do you think millions of people are going to come out and protest Trump and Musk? Protests don't stop politicians from doing what they're supposed to. They don't. Look over in Europe. They are destroying European nations, and the people come out literally by the millions and flood the streets waving their country's flags, and they protest and they scream and yell and they make noise and they sing songs, and nobody gives a flying frog's fat ass. The governments don't change their plans. The governments don't stop what they're doing. They couldn't give a shit. The weekend is over, the protesters go home, and Monday morning they go back to work like good little slaves, pay their taxes like good little slaves, and continue to be screwed right in their bungholes by government. So these protesters that want to come out and protest Trump and Musk, who gives a fuck? Protests don't do anything. Now, how about violent protests? You know, mostly peaceful protests. Yeah, those ought to get some sort of attention. But like the other protests that have been called for against Tesla dealerships, Tesla vehicles, those people have been designated as terrorists. Terrorists. So whether 100,000 people come out in protest or a million, whether it's 10,000 at every location around the country, doesn't matter to me. If they become violent, they are part of an organized group that is what? That is using violence to what? To cause political change with their violence, to cause politicians to act differently because of their violence. Isn't that basically the definition of terrorism? Right. Well, if George Washington, if Paul Revere, Sam Adams, Patrick Henry, John Paul Jones, John Hancock, if these guys are terrorists by today's standards, our founding fathers were called terrorists by I don't know how many law enforcement people in training. I've heard multiple times, well, by today's standards, the founding fathers are a bunch of terrorists, and we would have just arrested them. Yeah, it's about freedom. Now, these people out here that are going to protest, they don't want freedom. They want slavery and destruction. If they are out here committing acts of violence, they should be arrested and charged with terrorism. And whoever is organizing this event is organizing terrorists, which is itself a nice crime. I really hope that is how it's viewed. I don't want Pam Bondi to run out and say, see, I made arrests. I don't want Kash Patel to run out and say, see, we're arresting dangerous people. No, we want you guys to go after the politicians, the bureaucrats, the CEOs, the Hollywood actors, and the lawyers who are part of the Epstein, P. Diddy, super fraud inside Washington, D.C. The millions, billions, and even trillions of dollars. That is an incredible fraud, needs to be investigated. I want Kash Patel to arrest them. I want Pam Bondi to arrest them. The local police can handle these fucking idiots who are protesters. I hope they do get violent. Not because I want people to be hurt, not because I don't, or not because I do want property destroyed. No. But I want people to wake the fuck up to the reality. The reality. Okay, every transgender person out there is pretending there's someone else. It's a man pretending to be a woman. It's a woman pretending to be a man. It's not real. It's not real. It's pretending. But they want you to accept their pretend story and adopt it as a reality. The reality is Democrats hate America and they hate the Constitution. They hate it. They hate you and me. They pretend to love the Constitution. They pretend to tolerate you when they don't. They don't even know you. They know nothing about you. They have an opinion they've generated based on the propaganda they've been told. And so they'll walk up to your car and run a key or a knife or a screwdriver along it and cause thousands of dollars in damage. And they don't even know you. They're probably damaging cars owned by Democrats. And they're too fucking stupid to know any different. That's who we're dealing with. They're living a false lie. That's why you need to be prepared. You need to be ready. You need to have a plan. You do. Protesters, not your friends. When we protest, all the Bud Light is on the shelves. When they protest, cars, houses, buildings, businesses are burned to the ground. There's a difference. One is a protest, and it has an effect, and the other is outright terrorism, and it too has an effect. Mr. Uman, let's move on if we shall. Next up is Robin G. She asked the question, don't they have something better to do, like work? That's just it. What are the best ways to enslave somebody? Have them work, and tax the shit out of them so they have nothing. Or give them a house and a car and money and don't require them to work. Both of those people are slaves. Right? The one person who doesn't work and has a house and a car and money, they're a slave to the government. They'll do anything the government says to keep getting a free life. That's why they're not working, is they're on the government dole. Their welfare cases, they got a problem with their head, so they're on disability. They have some problem with their body physically, they're on a disability. Their trust fund retarded liberals, so they don't need a job. Or they work at Panera Bread or Starbucks or Pete's Coffee or Einstein Coffee or Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Folks, I love coffee. But they can say, well, you know what? I'm not going to be at the job because I don't get paid shit because it's a entry-level job that children should be doing. And I'll just go to the protest. And if I get fired, I'll just go across the street to the other coffee shop. Right? In other words, they don't have anything better to do. They have no goals. They have no ambitions. They don't have an education. They have indoctrination. They have no self-discipline. But they get some satisfaction, some feeling of accomplishment by going to a protest and chanting with another 1,000 morons. Hell no, we won't go, or whatever it is they fucking say these days, right? That's what they do. They say and repeat ridiculous lines, and they feel like they belong. They feel like they've succeeded, like they've arrived, like they're doing some good, like it's important. Just like all the interviewers who catch these fucking protesters and ask them, why are you here? Well, I'm here to protest. What are you protesting? I don't know. Literally, they say they don't know what they're protesting. Or if they say, well, we're protesting Elon Musk. Yeah, we're protesting Elon Musk. Well, what did Elon Musk do that's wrong? I don't know. We were just told that he's the bad guy. Oh, okay. Well, what did he do that's wrong? I don't know. Well, Elon Musk has gone in and he's found all kinds of fraud and waste and abuse in government. Is that why you're protesting him? Well, I guess so. I don't know. They don't fucking know. Anyways, they don't have anything better to do. Uman says, we'll see how much money is left in the USAID funds based on the turnout of paid protesters. Yeah. Remember the USAID money is a giant slush fund for Democrats to send money domestically and overseas to non-government organizations, NGOs. And it looks like a loan or a grant or a giveaway to help disadvantaged people. It looks like charity, right? That's what it looks like. It looks like we're being charitable. We give money to these NGOs who turn around and ship illegal immigrants in the country. Who the fuck do you think is paying for the rubber rafts that are bringing people over to Italy and France and Spain and Portugal, and from France going over to England and Ireland and Scotland? These rubber rafts are expensive. Fuel is expensive. The motors are expensive. It's government, like our government, sending money over to them. Like our government, the United States federal government, has sent money to terrorist organizations in the Middle East because they have a name like Syria for climate change reform. Oh, that sounds noble. So they get the money at Syria for climate change reform, and they buy guns and missiles and bombs and start killing people. That's what it's there for. So with the USAID money being cut, even though the judges, the federal judges, 1 in 3 isn't even American, wasn't born here, didn't know anything about being a fucking judge. 1 in 3 of them, right? They're all looking at this, just waiting for a chance to get a case, right? They're trying to make them pay. You got to pay. You got to let that money out. These worthless fucking judges are trying to tell the president how to run the show. Hopefully he fights and fights and fights and does what we want him to do. Cut their fucking money. And oh yeah, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, why don't you go arrest some of Jeffrey Epstein's bitches? Arrest one and watch the dominoes fall. Arrest one and watch them scatter like cockroaches when the lights come on. Arrest one big name person, and everybody that knows that person and everyone that person knows are going to shit their pants. They will run, they will hide, they will roll over on each other, they'll snitch, they'll cut fucking deals, they'll commit suicide because of what they have done. It needs to come out. I write some vicious, mean shit directly to Pam Bondi, folks. I'm not afraid. I don't threaten her. Nope, no need to threaten. I just make the demand. Do your fucking job. Make some arrests. Shut the fuck up. Get off of television. Right? She's not doing any good. And make a liar out of me, Pam. I'll wake up tomorrow. You've arrested 10 of these fucking people. It was all part of a very carefully coordinated investigation approach. And I'll eat my fucking words. I'll print them off on the computer and put them between 2 pieces of bread with some mayonnaise and mustard and eat my fucking words. Make the arrests. I tell you what, if she arrests anybody, you know what? It's going to be some fucking mid-level bullshit person. Some fucking congressman no one gives a fuck about. Some fucking worthless, stupid Wall Street asshole, like the one that confessed the other day. They're going to try and make us believe that they've done their job. Oh, you really wrangled them in. Good job. You arrested one fucking person. One fucking person. All right, let's have some more fun if we shall. Mr. Uman, who's up next? What do we have up next? We got Mr. Diving Frog, and he says, John, if anything sets off in this country, my guess is that it'll be New York here and Gaza in the Middle East. Netanyahu wants to set off that mushroom cloud. Is that where we're going? We're just the one, man? The one comment? Okay. Yeah. Netanyahu, he wants war over there. Months ago, before the retaliatory strike, invasion, bombing, and attacks on Gaza, Netanyahu was getting in trouble for fraud and corruption. There's a lot of problems in Israel right now. The people there are tired of the fight, allegedly. The people there are tired of all of the attacks and the bombings and the killings. Allegedly, they're tired of it. The military is allegedly tired of what's going on. Well, you started a fucking fight. Finish it. Right? The people in the Palestinian Gaza side are going to continue to claim that Israel is committing genocide and that they rape their women that they capture, while the Israelis claim that the Hamas people rape their women. On the Hamas side, on the Gaza side, the people there are marching and screaming, we're tired of our leaders. We're tired of Hamas. Get them the fuck out of here. It's pretty nasty. You know what I say? Stay the fuck out of it. Looks like they're figuring it out all by themselves. I don't think American Marines and soldiers and sailors need to go over there and be exposed to what it is they're doing. And Netanyahu, very well, could light somebody up. Now, I do want to talk about this. We've got a lot of U.S. Navy warships in the area, around the Persian Gulf, around Iran, in the Mediterranean. And there's a lot of fear that Trump is going to go in there and attack on behalf of Israel. If you understand how Trump negotiates, he negotiates differently than Teddy Roosevelt, who said, walk softly but carry a big stick. Trump does it a little differently. He says, I've got a big stick, and he talks really loud. And he threatens, right? That's his negotiating tactic. He demands 10 times more than he expects to get. And he'll accept anything as long as he's getting his way. Right? So by putting aircraft carriers right there, and he can talk loudly and threateningly to Iran and say, do you really want to play this fucking game? Do you want to see if I'm bluffing? And I'll remind you of the story where he went to the leadership of Iran and he threw down a picture in front of the leader. And he says, hey, this is my house. And he said, yeah, that's right. And if one American dies, one American, military, civilian, one American dies from you guys in your attacks, you're done. And from that point on, Iran did nothing. Trump is a master at this. You may not like it. You could call him a bully. I think it is rather 2D, two-dimensional. If you want to know the truth, it's very simple. The United States of America is an incredibly powerful country economically, financially, militarily. And so we can throw that weight around, and it works. And Trump doesn't have to sell out to these people. He just has to demand what he wants and get it. He's not trying to feather his nest like the Biden cartel. He's not trying to feather his nest like the Obamas and the Bushes and the Clintons. His nest is pretty feathery, isn't it? Anyways, that's what Trump is up to. A lot of people don't like this technique, but that's how he does it. Business, trade, tariffs, it doesn't matter. He goes in there with the big stick and starts swinging it around, trying to scare people, and it works. So you can't blame him for saying, hey, that's the art of the deal. In any event, we've got big trouble. Netanyahu, he wants war. We're going to have problems there, folks. They've got, like I said, problems in Gaza, problems in Israel, and then currently there is a huge attempt to expose the undue influence that AIPAC has over the United States government and over the United States financial system. and over the United States entertainment industry. And that is gaining a lot of traction, and Israel doesn't like being exposed. So we're going to see where that takes us in the next weeks, days, and months. All right, let's have some more fun out there. Who is up next? Mr. Uman. And it's Roy the Crypto Boy, and he's talking about Bank of America. Not BOA like a snake, but Bank of America announced that they're going to close inactive accounts and give the money to the state. Wells Fargo, JPM, as in JP Morgan, Chase, and other regional banks are also doing it. Accounts are inactive with no customer-initiated activity. Your thoughts? My thoughts is it's theft. It's theft. There is a name, social security number, address, and phone number associated with every single account. What's inactive? Oh, you haven't done anything for 10 years. Whose money is it? Name, social security number, phone number, and address. That person. Send them a letter. Pretty simple. It's actually pretty simple. But what it looks like they're doing is they're wanting to confiscate wealth that has the appearance of nobody knowing it exists. Well, if they can steal that money and give it to the state, who says they can't steal the money and give it to themselves? And also remember this. Your deposits at the bank are no longer deposits. It's not your money. Which is why the bank can say, what do you want that money for? You come to us and you tell us you want your money out? What are you spending it on? Why do you need $5,000, $10,000? Why do you need that kind of money? What are you doing with it? And they start sounding like fucking cops. A lot of people complaining about that. Well, what you have made is an unsecured loan to the bank. It's an unsecured loan to the bank. So when you ask for your money, you're calling in their loan. They don't like that. But yeah, now, right? So that money doesn't matter when the accounts were opened or inactive. The bank can just claim it's theirs. It's an unsecured loan, and there is no beneficiary to that loan, so we're just going to keep the money for ourselves. Sounds like a great bail-in practice to me. By claiming they're going to give it to the state, sure. I got some thoughts on this, Roy. I'm not a big fan of banks. Let me put it that way. They're famous for stealing people's money and devaluing our currency. Period. Regional banks, the big banks, doesn't matter. It's theft. It's fucking theft. It's all theft. If you go to your bank and you say you want money and they won't give it to you, tell them you're going to close the account and you're going to transfer it to another bank and you're going to do an ACH wire transfer. They can't stop that. It's a way to electronically call in your loan to the bank. You gave them your money to hold as a loan. You think it's a deposit and it's yours. They keep the loan on record and you see exactly what it is, right? It's funny. You make a loan to them and then they want to charge you. They want to charge you to manage the account. They borrow your money and then charge you to borrow your money. You borrow their money. They charge you times 10. The whole system is fucked. We need a reset. And the great reset is coming right now. Is this the great reset from the World Economic Forum? Is that the great reset we're going to get? Or are we going to get another type of great reset where governments are reset and set back in their place? It's up to us, folks. Wake people up. Call, write, text, email, message your congressmen, your senators, the president, the bureaucrats. Tell them what to think. Tell them what you think. Tell them what to do. They are scared to death, by the way. All right, Mr. Uman, let's do another one. I know we're running short on time. But I bet we got some more great topics, and we do. It's Mr. Diving Frog. He says, I hope nobody is waiting for a Doge refund check because it's not going to happen. I've been waiting. I don't want a Doge refund check. I want a tax refund. I want my taxes back. I don't want Doge's money. I don't want someone else's money. I want the money that was stolen from me through legalized theft called taxation. Now, Baddest Diving Frog continues, says, if Trump cut those checks, it'll destroy the economy, unless it's what the establishment wants. If you paid close attention over the last 5 years, going back to the beginning of Cerveza-Bug and the lockdowns and all that, they absolutely destroyed the economy. They stopped business, manufacturing, transportation, production. They stopped it all. They said that doctors and nurses are essential and you are not. So doctors and nurses went to hospitals that had no sick people in them, even though we were told they're overflowing. And they started doing dance routines and skits and putting them on the internet. Fuck them all for that shit. But how did we survive that? A refund check. I was given $1,700 and then told after that year I had to give it back. Oh, I got a fucking letter from the IRS. Give us that money back. I'm like, I thought that was our money for doing what we were told, for locking down. It was giveaway money. Well, I didn't get any money because I had to give it back. Other people I know had to give the money back. But people like Oprah Winfrey, didn't she and many, 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 many other Democrats, bureaucrats, entertainers, they dipped right in, scooped up a big handful, millions of dollars in business loans that were forgiven. Banks were given millions and billions of dollars. It didn't go to you. It went to the banks. The banks rewarded themselves with our money, which caused just nothing but trouble, folks. If they claim that giving us our money back is going to destroy the economy, they're full of shit. Now, what will happen if they give us the money, right? If they were to give all of us a $5,000 check, well, that would put more money into the supply, wouldn't it? And that could have an inflationary effect. It would have a positive economic effect followed by inflation because there's more money vying for the same amount of goods. We'll find out. If I get a $5,000 check, I'm going to buy a handful of silver. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know about you. I think Ooman just did the old head nod. Hey, that John's on to something. Yeah. That's what I would do. I would convert their money into my money, which is real money. And I think everyone needs to take a look at that. After you get food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, I recommend you take a look. If you have money left, where is the safest place to put it? You can't trust government. You can't trust banks. Probably can't trust your boss. You can trust yourself. You can trust yourself. Become your own banker. Store your own wealth away from the system and in a form, gold and silver. This is not financial advice, but it's just an idea. It's a recommendation to look into. Gold and silver can protect you in bad times, and bad times are upon us, are they not? Chance favors the prepared mind, everyone. Thanks for being here. Share, thumbs up, heart, like, all that. Share this video, share the internet address, share it on X, share it in email. Friends, family, loved one, please share it. It's the only way America is going to wake up is if we keep screaming and yelling from the rooftops. Wake up! Semper Fi.